This is The World Gone Mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. Welcome to the Friday edition, the part of the week where later in my podcast I bring you news from the edge of sanity and try to lighten the load a little before you head into your weekend. News from the edge of sanity, you know, the kind of stories that make you pause mid-coffee and say, "You've got to be kidding me." But first, let me talk about the real news stories from the last 48 hours, which sometimes rival the bizarre ones. Okay, here we go. Let's have TSA propaganda at the airport. Why not? So apparently, while you're standing in your socks at the airport, praying your laptop does not fall off that grimy gray tray, the government has decided that now is the perfect time to shove propaganda in your face. That's right, Kristi Noem, the same Kristi Noem who thought killing her own dog made her relatable, has rolled out TSA videos blaming Democrats for the government shutdown. These are not fake internet clips. They are running on real airport monitors in real time across the country. They literally say, and I quote, "Most of our TSA employees are working without pay because Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government." That line alone could qualify as a campaign ad. Except this one is paid for by you, played at a federal security checkpoint while you're trying to keep track of your ID, your shoes, and what is left of your patience. This is the Department of Homeland Security turning the TSA into a propaganda network. It is state television at the metal detector, a campaign rally between bins of toothpaste and laptops. And it's not subtle. It's not informative. It is pure partisan messaging projected to the same agency that literally screens you for weapons. Think about that for a second. The same people who pat you down now have a political sermon blaring behind them on television monitors. Is that even legal? We are talking about federal monitors inside federal property promoting one political narrative. That should send a lightning bolt through every lawyer in Washington. The Hatch Act exists for a reason. Imagine Obama doing this. The entire conservative universe would be foaming at the mouth. Fox News would have spontaneous combustion live on air. But now, under Trump world, you can use a government agency as a political megaphone, and it's just another day in America. Forget the liquids and the laptops. The new rule is take off your shoes and your skepticism. Check both at the counter, because apparently truth is a prohibited item. Next time you're waiting barefoot in that line, remember the TSA is not just screening for weapons anymore. They are screening your loyalty. Welcome to America's newest checkpoint. It is not your carry-on they want. It is your conscience. Next on the agenda, Letitia James indicted as Trump's enemies list grows. The New York Attorney General who took Trump to court and made him pay hundreds of millions of dollars now finds herself indicted by the very Justice Department Trump controls. You could not script irony this thick if you hired HBO. Letitia James has been charged with bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. The accusation says she misrepresented the use of a property in Virginia to get better loan terms. Wow, sounds familiar. The case had been sitting untouched for years until a Trump-aligned prosecutor suddenly decided it was a priority. So let me connect the dots without needing a chalkboard. A career prosecutor resisted the case. A new Trump appointee steps in and files charges. The target just happens to be the woman who humiliated Trump in court. What a coincidence! Justice is not blind here. It is staring straight at its next target. It is what happens when the legal system becomes a political hit list. The entire message is clear. Cross the king, and you will face the crown's lawyers. Trump said he is not out for revenge. Bullshit! The same man who screamed witch hunt for 4 years now runs the witch trials. The same crowd that shouted, "Lock her up," has turned the Justice Department into a revenge factory. And the rest of the country is supposed to nod along as if this is normal. Even if you do not like Letitia James, the precedent should make your skin crawl. Every attorney general, every DA, every journalist who ever challenged power should be hearing alarm bells right now. If this administration can prosecute its critics, what will stop the next one from prosecuting anyone who dares to call them out? There are moments that define whether democracy still exists. This is one of them. When political enemies start catching indictments while allies skate, the scales of justice do not just tip, they collapse. So Donald Trump can get away with breaking every law under the sun, face almost no consequences, but it is okay to indict Letitia James and others? How petty, how cruel, how disgusting. How like a little baby Donald has become, showing the world what a terrible president looks like. Donald is the ultimate joke. Jared Kushner returns. The clown car heads to Cairo. Guess who just wandered back into the Middle East like a tourist who forgot his wallet and came back for the photo op? Jared Kushner. The man who somehow made peace sound like a real estate pitch. He's back, strutting around Cairo with his billionaire buddy Steve Witkoff, talking about helping broker peace between Israel and Hamas. The same guy who treated the region like a sandbox for the Trump family, diplomacy now wants another go. As if global conflict is just another deal waiting for a ribbon cutting. Kushner is apparently advising on a Gaza ceasefire, which is like inviting the fire marshal who built the gas leak. Every time Kushner shows up, something explodes. Sometimes literally, sometimes in headlines. And the press calls it a return to statesmanship. No, it is a sequel nobody asked for. Season 2 of Amateur Hour, Diplomacy Edition. Let's remember who this guy is. Jared Kushner never even went through a real security clearance. In his first administration, they just gave Kushner access and let him walk straight in without any vetting. This is the man now pretending to play diplomat. He is not a diplomat. He is not a historian. He is a real estate heir who once wandered into the West Wing and probably had to Google, what is Palestine? And now he's back at the table because apparently we learned nothing the first time. The Saudi investment fund handed Kushner's private equity firm $2 billion after he left office. And now, shocker, Kushner keeps popping up in every conversation about Middle East development. Maybe it's a coincidence, or maybe the guy who once blurred the line between politics and profit now sees that line as his personal ATM. You can almost picture it. Kushner in sunglasses walking through the desert with that same blank expression saying he is there to make peace. No, Jared, you're there because rich men always find their way back to the camera. While Gaza burns and families bury their dead, Jared Kushner is out here collecting frequent flyer miles on moral bankruptcy. And somehow the world keeps pretending this is normal. Because in America, No failure ever really fails. It just gets a new plane ticket, a new suit, and another chance to sell the same garbage illusion to the next generation of suckers. And today the Dow tumbles after what Trump said about China. Donald Trump opened his mouth again. And the stock market did what it always does when Donald plays pretend economist. It tanked. One post from Donald on Truth Social, one half coherent threat about slapping China with massive new tariffs, and boom, 900 points gone from the Dow in a single day. Billions of dollars erased because a 70-something-year-old man cannot tell the difference between a trade policy and a tantrum. He calls China hostile, says he might cancel meetings with Xi. The market hears that and instantly dives like a drunk pelican. Tech stocks nose first. Semiconductor companies gasping. Every investor who just wanted to enjoy a quiet Friday now watching their portfolio scream for mercy. Donald Trump treats the world economy like it's his own personal casino table. When he wins, he brags about the odds. When he loses, he blames the dealer and flips the table over. Trump has no idea that when he fires off one of these strong leader rants, real people lose real money. Retirement funds, college savings, payrolls, all shredded because the human mood swing decided he needed attention. Remember, this is the same guy who spent 4 years bragging about being a genius at deals. He bankrupted casinos. Casinos! The only business where customers walk in and literally hand the casino owner cash. And Donald Trump still managed to run the casinos into the ground. And now Donald's back threatening the world's largest economy with another round of, trust me, I know business. The ripple hits everything. China controls rare earth minerals that power phones, cars, defense systems. You scare them off? You're not punishing Beijing. You are punishing Detroit. You are punishing workers. You are punishing every company trying to make a battery without selling their kidneys. Meanwhile, the talking heads on cable nod along like Donald Trump is God's gift to the economy, when the truth is Donald hasn't got a clue what he's doing. No, this is what happens when markets become hostages to political theater. When the stock exchange has to keep one eye on the Federal Reserve and the other on President Donald Trump's phone. You can almost hear the traders screaming through their screens, not because of economic data, because of one sentence on Truth Social typed in all caps at 2 a.m. or between golf swings. The world watches the numbers fall and asks the same question America should have asked years ago. How much more are we willing to lose just to protect one man's ego? Because this is not just about stocks. It is about stability. It is about the fact that global markets now react to one man's mood swings like an emotional support animal. And that, my friends, is the real truth about Truth Social. You can crash a market faster than you could fact check a lie. And the rest of us are left cleaning up the wreckage while Donald Trump's on the back nine yelling it was a beautiful day for business. Welcome to the new economy where chaos is a business model and stupidity is a stimulus plan. Where one unstable man, Donald, can tank the market before breakfast and call it leadership by lunch. Built on volatility, fueled by delusion, and propped up by a mob so blinded by worship they keep cheering while the whole country burns down around them. Okay, Wolfpack listeners, That's the absurd, insane real news. Now it's time for news from the edge of sanity, the absurd and insane bizarre news from the sidelines. Okay, Storm Amy, the big storm, Storm Amy's naughty surprise. When a storm hits, you expect the usual chaos. A trash can in your neighbor's yard, somebody's patio chair wedged halfway up a fence, maybe a rogue garden gnome staring at you from the driveway like it just survived a war. But in the town of Millport, Scotland, Storm Amy decided to get a little more creative. After roaring through the coast earlier this month, locals woke up to find the beach covered in debris. Broken branches, seaweed, bits of plastic, the usual post-storm junk. Then someone spotted something different. A black plastic bag sitting at the waterline. Not unusual after a storm, except when they looked closer, it wasn't just any bag. It was filled with sex toys. Dozens of them. All shapes, all colors, all bobbing their way to shore like a very adult version of The Little Mermaid. Dog walkers were the first to find the scene because, of course they were. You go out expecting to toss a tennis ball with your dog, and instead your dog is proudly dragging a silicone souvenir from the sea. No one knows where the toys came from. Local authorities think a shipment may have gone overboard during Storm Amy's pounding winds, which raises so many questions. What ship? What cargo list? And just how do you explain that insurance claim? Reason for loss? Well, a Category 1 storm threw our entire adult novelty collection into the Atlantic. Police say there's no danger to the public, but the jokes are writing themselves. Locals in Australia have already dubbed it 50 Shades of Spray. One resident told the Scottish Sun that you can usually find driftwood or bottles after a storm. This time they found something for everyone. Cleanup crews gathered the items for disposal, but the legend of the storm that brought passion to the pier will live on, because only in 2025 could Mother Nature deliver gale force winds, flying patio furniture, and a beach full of battery-powered mysteries. And somewhere out there, a very confused warehouse manager is wondering how to file a missing inventory report for 48 items marked intimate use only. All right, let me tell you about the Great Pumpkin Escape. Every Halloween season, there's that one decoration that goes a little too far. Maybe your skeleton collapses in the yard. Maybe your fog machine dies halfway through the night, so it looks like Dracula's on a coffee break. In Parma Heights, Ohio, folks were used to the usual holiday sights. Cobwebs on porches, a few fake tombstones, maybe an inflatable ghost swaying in the wind. But this year, something strange started rolling through the neighborhood just after midnight. People heard a low rumble outside, a thud, then a slow scrape down the pavement. One driver swore he saw something enormous, glowing orange, drift across his headlights. That's when the police got the call. A large object moving through the streets. No details. Just something big, bright, and definitely not supposed to be mobile. When the patrol cars arrived, their headlights caught it full on. A 20-foot inflatable jack-o'-lantern had snapped loose from someone's front yard and was cruising through town like it had somewhere to be. The wind pushed it straight into traffic. Cars slowed. People filmed from their windows. and the officers took off on foot like they just spotted a fugitive with a face carved into it. At one point, the pumpkin got wedged against a street sign, spun like it was making a break for it, and rolled through an intersection while the cops shouted, "Get it! Get it!" as if they were chasing an escaped prisoner instead of a Halloween decoration. They finally cornered it near a gas station. No one had a clue how to deflate it. So they did the only thing that made sense in the moment. They tackled it. One officer jumped on top of the Halloween decoration. Another tried to sit on it. The rest circled around yelling instructions and trying to drag the pumpkin toward their patrol car. It didn't fit, of course. A 20-foot pumpkin versus the backseat of a Ford Cruiser isn't exactly a fair matchup. Eventually, they rolled it back to its owner, a little scuffed, dignity gone, but technically still in one piece. The footage went viral because, of course it did. Flashing lights, sirens, officers wrestling a rogue jack-o'-lantern like it just robbed a Spirit Halloween store. City officials later issued a statement reminding residents to secure outdoor decorations, especially large inflatables that could cause hazards, which is bureaucratic speak for please tie down your pumpkins before they start a crime spree. And somewhere tonight, that big orange escape artist sits deflated in a garage, plotting its next move. Because deep down, it knows Halloween is only weeks away, and freedom tastes like asphalt. That was your news from the Edge of Sanity. We try to get away from the insane garbage that's happening in our country and in the world, and we run face first right into more absurd, insane stories from the sidelines. It just tells us logic has no place for us anywhere in this world. If you'd like to say hello, if you'd like to comment, if you'd like to give a thought or two on what's on your mind, you could write to me at wolfpacktalks@gmail.com. Or if you have the urge, you can call the 24 hours, 7-day a week, free mailbox 833-399-9653. Always love to hear from you. And thank you to the few of you that are leaving voicemails and sending emails. Thank you, Terry. Much appreciated. This is The World Gone Mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. I'll be back Monday. Hopefully you have a good weekend. I know I will. I'll be celebrating an anniversary with my better half, Natasha, and it's our 25th. Until then, Wolfpack listeners, remain skeptical, keep focused, but most of all, stay hopeful.